quite a temperature change. I'm checking some snares. I have a couple of buckets out, but I'll be checking some snares I set. With no snow on the ground, following the sign can be kind of difficult. It's not like using footholds where you're going to put a scent or a bait to try to draw them in. This is just simply trying to figure out the pattern of the animals. In this case, coyote and bobcat. More so coyote, but I know there's bobcats in here, so I'm kind of setting things up for that too. I guess, you know, the interesting thing about it is it's not really a hit or miss thing. Once you know the habits of the animal that you're actually targeting, you're going to have a much better chance at catching them. The other thing is, coyotes don't, like bobcat, they don't go to the same places every night. Sometimes it might be 2 or 3 days, or even longer. Bobcat, I've seen them come back through after finding tracks a couple weeks later. That's the nice thing about snaring is, number one, you can check them from a distance. Number two, you have the ability to have something working regardless of how cold it is or even how much snow. The more snow, the better off it is, because they'll follow deer trails, any specific trail they'll be on. And that's why you'll see tracks on farm lanes, because it's easier walking. So with coyotes also, a lot of times you may go a week without getting anything, and then all of a sudden you have a night where you may catch 3, because typically they do run together in packs. I normally don't catch one coyote. If I do, it's because I missed the other ones. So I'm going to continue on checking these and see what happens, because it got down to like 17 last night, which is great. So one thing too, I just put a snare in between those 2 trees and put a leaning stick on it to kind of, the deer will walk around or avoid it altogether. And with this cold weather, the thing to remember too is a coyote has almost no fat. That's why they're always on the move, they're always hunting. If you've ever skinned one, it's hard because they're so lean. So when it's really cold, a lot of times they can't make it through the night. And you can see by the catch circle, I mean, obviously this coyote put up a fight, which means he burned a lot of calories, and it looks pretty fortunate because it looks like a perfect neck catch on him. So I'll come back and get him out and check the rest of them. There's some pretty fresh tracks in the snow. It's hard to tell what they are. The snow's kind of crusty and you can kind of see the layout here. And this is just a really small portion of this property. Once a landowner's done hunting deer in a week, then I'll have much more area, so it can make it difficult when you're trying to target an area that is so small. Obviously, the more area you can cover, the better off you would be. So right here, you can kind of see was a knockdown right here. And that's going to happen. A deer brushes against it, or there we go. Or the coyote doesn't quite get into it all the way, or even a coyote knocks it down. Sometimes that happens. I'll go ahead and get that set back up. Make the loop a little bigger. I'm going to set that. See, as you can see how light that is. You can actually set how easy it will fall by the angle you have on your see, if it's pointing down more, it's just gonna relax a lot easier, and that isn't always what you want. So you want them to commit. There we go. And if you can, you want the loop, go ahead and set the loop in the center of the trail, because that's how animals typically will walk. They'll walk with their head right down the center. So I'll go ahead and cut back up the hill a little ways. going to be awesome when I can get into these areas. There's draws, there's hills, which is a place more likely that the cats will be. So I'll be doing some checking along there. Oops, you can kind of see you can't ask for a better catch than that. The snare height had to be almost perfect, but when you're trapping for different types of animals, different sizes, different heights, it doesn't always work that way. I'm going to go ahead and get him out of here. The snare's toast, but I usually recycle them into to earth anchors or something of that nature. So I'll go ahead and get him out of here.